Hello, fabulous friends and fans. Welcome to this episode of Nadia Shah Productions. I am your host, Nadia Shah. Thank you for being here. Today is such a treat. Ray Merriman is one of the leading, if not the leading, financial astrologer on the planet. His website is MMAcyclescom. Please help me welcome, please celebrate with me, Ray Merriman. Ray, welcome.
Well, thank you, Nadia. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you so much. So financial astrology, for those friends and fans who aren't familiar with it, what is it?
The markets don't lie. I mean, the markets make a top on a certain day or bottom on a certain day. There's no subjectivity to it. It's a fact. That was the top. That was the bottom. You can look up what the astrological makeup was that day and go back in time and see if there's similar patterns. In fact, that's exactly what I did in the books I've written. I went back and looked at the Dow Jones every day from the middle of 1928 to the current times, and I identified the various tops and bottoms from which prices move 4% or more, and then I did an analysis of all the planets in signs and all the planets in aspect to one another, and I found the ones that have the highest correlation of being present with those tops and bottoms. So that's what's different about our astrology than most astrology, which is psychological, spiritual, which is more subjective, more theoretical. Ours is based upon raw data.
When you say commodities, is it that specific, the stars are telling you that specific products are likely to be worth more to that culture? Is that what you mean by commodities?
Well, let's say, for instance, when a long-term planet, when a far-out planet transits through a sign, it's going to be there for several years. The sign represents a sector of the economy. A lot of times those sectors of the economies are commodity-based. As for instance, the last time we met with UAC was 1980. Uranus was in Pisces. And we know Uranus can represent extreme highs and lows. And Pisces is crude oil. So during the last conference, Uranus was in Pisces, and crude oil went to a new high, 147. Just before it did it, I made the forecast in that presentation that crude oil would get to 144, give or take $9. It was trading around 120, and then it would reverse and lose 80% of its value. And it did. It went to 147. I said 144, give or take $9. By the end of the year, it was $32 a barrel. And that's Uranus, those extremes. So the planets in signs, and the signs tell you what the commodities or sector of the economy is affected are. Is that whatever sign Jupiter's in, and it's always in a sign for about a year, those stock sectors go up. So Jupiter's moving from Taurus, which has been banks and have done very well, and it's going to go into Gemini now. And those are the communications, transportations, media, anything that's Gemini. Those would tend to go up. And the signs that Saturn's in tend to go down. Well, Saturn's in Libra right now, which is more your beauty aids. It's going to go into Scorpio, which is going to be the banks and the brokerage houses and anything that deals with collection agencies. Those are going to have some problems coming up the next year or so.
Your website, MMAcycles.com, what are you most proud of about your website?
Well, I'm proud of the fact that we got it up and functioning as a commercial venture. I mean, as you open the website, you'll see two things that change every day. They're called weighted values of stock market, weighted values of the silver market. And if they're above 100, it tells you that day, that market, stocks or silver, have a tendency to reverse for 1 to 4 days. And if it's over 150, it's a very strong correlation. And so people go to the website because they want to see what's the weighted value of the sun-moon combination for stocks that day or for commodities, and what's the historical relationship with a reversal for 1 to 4 days in those markets. So I'm pretty proud of putting that together.
Yeah, there's so many great tips in there. I think I'm going to start looking at the planets a lot differently thanks to you.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome.
And thank you for being here for this episode of Nadia Shah Productions, celebrating Ray Merriman. Until we connect again, take care.